for this Customer Service Week 2025, Mission Possible. That is the thing. This reflects our unwavering belief that delivering a great customer experience is always achievable, no matter the obstacles that will come our way. The second part of our theme is to embrace intelligent customer experience, which is our roadmap. It means strategically leveraging on data, artificial intelligence, and digital transformation, all guided by human empathy to elevate every transaction with you. This journey is already well underway at KPA, and as the largest port in East and Central Africa, we have a responsibility to lead and meet that responsibility that is bestowed on us. At this front, KPA is making significant investments with various initiatives. I would highlight just a few of what we're investing on. And the first one I would say is to improve our infrastructure and get them to be modernized, talking to the IA that we have. So we are doing a construction of Path 19B at the port of Mombasa. This is going to increase our capacity from the 2.1 metric tons to now with an additional 350. So it will take us to 2.4. So as our business fraternity in Uganda, we are committed into serving the growing business that is coming, and we appreciate that. So as we do that, we are also increasing the capacity at the port of Mombasa by construction of Path 19B. We are also investing in modern equipment. We have recently acquired 10 new rubber-tired gantry cranes and terminal tractors, among other equipment. These are in Mombasa and in Lamu. As you're aware, our Lamu port is really taking shape. Several vessels have called on that port, and I would like you to actually familiarize with it on our website. In digital transformation, we are rolling out a new terminal operating system, TOS, that is going to enhance cargo handling. And to ensure that we have regional reach, soon we are launching an office in DRC. This is going to increase our presence in the region.
As a timeless adage goes, customer is king and always right. Their trust, loyalty, and feedback shape our journey, fuel our innovation, and inspire us to serve better every day. As a mission, our customer is the government of Uganda, its people, and indeed all of you who we interact with in one way or another. Kenya has been purposeful in its engagement with the Republic and the people of Uganda, and this historic core partnership is deeply rooted and continues to flourish through robust cooperation across key sectors of our economies, including yours. Indeed, Kenya and Uganda are each other's biggest trading partners. We value the relationship between Kenya and Uganda because for us in Kenya, Uganda is our largest trading partner, and we don't take it for granted. The two countries are very strongly focused on the removal of barriers to trade. His Excellency President William Ruto issued directives on operations at the port of Mombasa aimed at hastening the movement of goods and services. Some of these directives, if you allow me to mention just a few, will include the following, but not completely. 1, private players to consider providing scanners at the port for clearing of goods instead of depending on the government. And the directive that he gave is the weighing or weighting of transit cargo to be done only in 2 points, at the port in Mombasa and at the border. All these non-barrier interventions on the road to Uganda should be done away with. All weight bridges and roadblocks to be removed along the transport corridor, instead to be replaced by mobile weight bridges and the police. No visa requirement for East African travelers, and the port of Mombasa to be operational 24 hours, 7 days a week, 24/7. There was also a directive that the Ports Authority to immediately put in place efficient export mechanisms for fresh products to support the export of fresh food through the port of Mombasa. Another directive was that no more auctioning or destruction of unclaimed goods without notifying their owners. Initially, if you didn't pay for your goods, the port would just wake up one morning and auction. I'm sure that is the most annoying experience for customers, for people who have spent money to purchase, to import. So now, no goods will be destroyed without notifying the owners first. Ugandan traders are to be given the first opportunity during the auctioning processes. That is to say, if these goods were destined for Uganda and they have been unclaimed for a long time, first, the owners will be notified, number one. Number two, the Ugandans will be given a chance first to reclaim their goods before any other national is allowed. Lastly, but not least, the Kenya Transport and Safety Authority, that's NTCA, was ordered to harmonize the operations of key road transport departments and help in effectively managing the road transport subsector, because not working over the weekend was affecting the clearing of vehicles. So now they're required to work also 7 days a week. The government of Kenya is also very keen in implementing measures aimed at enhancing efficiency along the Northern Corridor. And some of these measures, just an example of these measures, would include, number one, accelerating the final construction and commissioning of the SWAM one-stop border post to provide an alternative route for transit cargo and alleviate pressure on the Malaba and Malaba one-stop post or Busia one-stop border posts. We know that sometimes you experience very long queues in both Malaba and Busia. But the one-stop border post at Luaha is still small, but the Swam border post construction has been hastened so that now what can be done at Malaba or Busia can also be done at Swam. And that will really reduce congestion in these two one-stop border posts. Those in the petroleum industry know that the price of petroleum has gone down because of what is happening. The costs have gone down because of the costs of transportation that have been alleviated by using the Kisumu oil jetty together with the MAD facility in Deben. In Mombasa, the government of Kenya has created the Dongokundu Special Economic Zone as a way of promoting economic activities in the coastal region, more particularly the optimal use of the port of Mombasa. I don't know what more I can say about this other than encouraging you very strongly to invest at the Dongokundu Special Economic Zone. If you invest there, because it's open for all of you, open for East Africans, you will become a major player, you become a partner in what goes on in the port of Mombasa. And we encourage you to invest, you will not regret.
Important is the connectivity sometimes I really feel so sad when I'm going through to my country. I'm passing through through Busia. Then I find almost like 5 kilometers stretch of trucks. And some of them will realize that there's trucks which have already been offloaded. When you're on the Uganda side, they've already been offloaded, they're just going back. So I don't know what's bringing that particular stalemate when it comes to the clearance. I think it's important also that you partake also with the relevant bodies to be able to help in terms of getting the solutions to those delays which are happening at the border stations. And the last one, obviously, I talked about connectivity. Uganda is investing heavily. I was really impressed that by the month of April next year, they've started the SGR. Unlike the Kenyan one, which is really not electric, this is going to be electric. And it's going to take about 4 years to connect from Malaba all the way to Kampala. I think these are efficiencies that we really need to be able to interest ourselves in as a government of Kenya and also as the Kenya Post Authority, so that at least we can be able to harness the potential of the railway line as it brings the efficiency that we so much need. Thank you.
Now, Uganda Railways has assured us that they would have renovated the road from Malaba to Gulu by February next year. So we are anticipating that to decongest the borders, we could have the South Sudan goods and that part of DRC moving by rail from Mombasa direct to the Gulu port, and maybe even the clearance would be there. So maybe the Kenyan port and the KPA should position themselves ready for that. Now, finally, the directives, I said, are good. But normally for us in the NTB process, both national and regional, there's a lot of reoccurrence of these NTVs. They are removed today, tomorrow somebody again introduces. So maybe we need to take it up also that the two partner states and the two practitioners make sure that once NTVs are removed, they shouldn't be introduced.
Over time, for the time I've been in this industry, in manufacturing, we import through the port of Mombasa. We've seen it greatly improving. And I again take this honor to appreciate that you have recognized my contribution to the port. I once again want to use this time for a commercial break, that we as Mukwano, we were opening up Mukwano ICD in Tororo. It is seated on 29 acres, and we hope the project to be fully finished by end of April next year. We'll keep all of you updated on the progress that is taking on, and we want to do it in a very modern way, so to get support from my sisters here in the shipping industry, people like Karodi who are bringing breakback cargo sitting in Mombasa. You can evacuate it by rail and put it in our yard at a very low cost. We want to support our country, support our fellow business community, because we need each other.
I would like to suggest a much bigger engagement, because over and above the ports, there are issues of enabling environment. We had to, at one point, engage both governments after trucks were held up for more than 30 kilometers on both sides of the border at one point because of some issues that emerged. Now, the business people, every second means either loss or a profit. Now, if you work backwards, it means that, of course, jobs are at stake, the profits, my taxman is watching me here, delayed taxes. But more importantly, I think that the issue of infrastructure, and we are willing to come on a very good table and discuss this matter, is critical. Like members have said, it's one thing to clear goods very fast. It's another to disentangle them at the point of entry or exit. So for us, and through you, Your Excellency, and I know that you will have to talk to other members of the government, and there are some government people here, but PSFU's work is to bridge the gap between private sector and the government. I think it's integral that after this week we begin a conversation on how do we provide an enabling environment And it will translate immediately to increased taxes, more job creation, better business processes, and therefore a faster throughput for the way we do business. So,
the issue of non-tariff barriers. Before I say, let me talk about the SGR. The SGR from Tororo to Kampala, construction is already ongoing. And I want to assure you that our SGR from Naivasha, Eldoret, Malava is also at a very advanced stage. We had a little problem with the person who was awarded the original contract. He was charging an arm and a leg, so we had to look for another contractor that was a little bit friendly. And I think the process is almost complete. And our government has committed to the government of Uganda that by the time the SGL from Tororo would have reached Kampala, ours will also be nearing Tororo. Now the issue of NTB, that's non-tariff barriers, this is a very common thing, very common occurrence, and sometimes it borders on criminality. And you know, in every government, there's always one bad apple, 2 or 3. But I'm glad to announce that about 2 months ago, about 2.5 months ago, the president of Uganda met with the president of Kenya in a bilateral meeting in Nairobi. And they directed the 2 ministers, the Minister of Trade in Kenya and the Minister of Trade in Uganda, in conjunction with the finance ministers, to meet and make sure that we do everything to alleviate this issue of non-tariff barriers. A month ago they met at Mbale, and they made an historic agreement which was signed, because you know we have these East African protocols which most countries are not following. But Kenya and Uganda have committed in writing at a bilateral level that all goods, with the exception of a few, that are manufactured in Uganda will be considered as local goods in Kenya, and vice versa. So you know, some of these non-tariff barriers come through the pretext of, oh, these are Uganda goods, so we must charge this, or these are Kenya goods, we must charge this. But now that all Ugandan goods will be considered local products in Kenya, and all Kenyan goods will be considered local products in Uganda, I think this issue of non-tariff barriers could be a thing of the past, sooner than later. Somebody, I think, mentioned that 85% of goods coming to Uganda pass through Mombasa. Yes, we take note of that. And that's why we make a deliberate effort to meet you. Because without you, the port of Mombasa would not be the same. And this is why we want to give you a chance to be part owners of the process in Mombasa by investing in Dongokundu. You invest in Dongokundu, I mean, you'll be a part owner of the board, so that you can also be not only a stakeholder, but also a decision maker in the process. We encourage you to invest there so that you can participate in the decision making of the board processes.